Yes, indeed. Our thanks there to Kevin Nolan from the Evening Herald Dublin, taking on Armagh this coming Sunday in the Allianz National Football League. We'll have more on the hurlers a little bit later on in the programme as they take on Jimmy Barry Murphy's Cork, of course, in this Spring Series double header. But this evening we're going to celebrate Craobh Chiaráin's 50th anniversary, and I'm delighted to be joined in studio by their chairman, Aidan O'Toole, and PRO, Mark Murray. Good evening, lads. You're very welcome.
Good evening, Mick. Thanks a minute.
Well, Aidan, you're new. You're not new, Mark is new here, but it's all hat to you, Aidan. You've been here before, of course. I think
I was down a few times, Mick.
Down when the Craobh were celebrating another championship, but this is totally different. 50 years. I actually couldn't believe it myself when I was looking back, 1962. Where the years gone?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a long time when you start thinking about it, but the years go by pretty quick,
And can you tell us just a little bit of a history about the club, how it all formed and how it came about?
Yeah, no problem. Well, the club, there was two clubs around the area. In our town there was Craobh, and in Donecarney there was Craobh Chiaráin. And Craobh Chiaráin was mainly all juvenile teams, and Craobh were mainly all adult teams. So the two clubs came together and negotiated and decided that it would be much better off having the two teams amalgamating together to make so they have a juvenile section and an adult section then. So that basically all took place, and they got going in 1962. So that was the foundation then of Craobh Chiaráin GAA club at that point.
I suppose when you look at Donecarney, it's a fairly settled area as well.
Yes.
Not too many new estates in around it. And has it changed much since '62?
Oh, it certainly has. North Donecarney was built in 1947, so there was a big influx of people into the area then for the next, say, 10, 15 years. So like the school Chiaráin then, as it became, they had hundreds of students going in every day and so that was a big feeder school for the Craobh. So obviously over time, says 50 years later on now, the area has aged, so we don't have as many kids coming through the school now. So we have to look at different ways of enticing people in. But there is new people coming into the area as well who are joining the club. So it's our job now to get out there and make sure they know about Craobh Chiaráin and know where we are and try and get them down to play football and hurling and camogie and ladies football.
Is there a situation too, Aidan, maybe like other areas where people, they grew up, played with the Craobh, obviously moved away from the area to get their first house, then kind of realised, well, I want to settle back and bringing their kids back up again.
A lot of people did. A lot of people moved to Swords, moved to Malahide, and moved further afield out to Ashbourne. And some of them bring their kids back down to the club, but some of them have moved on as well. So. We haven't had too many moving back into the area, I suppose, especially like house prices are now, and everyone's afraid to move at the moment. So, that's where we are at the minute.
We won't mention them house prices.
No, we won't. Say well away from that.
I suppose, Mark, it'll be probably your job as PRO to get all these new people into the job and get the message out there.
I have the hard task of telling everybody that where we are, and we're fairly enclosed in the area and behind schools and stuff like that. So new people in the community wouldn't know about us, So it's my job to get the signs up on the fences and go knocking at the doors, and like yourself helping us out there and a bit of advertisement and radio stations and everything else. So yeah, I have a good task ahead of me. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
But it's a vibrant club. I was there, as I said, met you there last Friday night. There was a retirement party on one of your ex-treasurer, I think, as well.
That's
and
right,
there was the children's disco as well, which was great to see. I think it's on once a month.
That's right.
And fantastic to see that opportunity for children, that they have somewhere to go to, because it was something that seemed to be dying within the communities. Like years ago, you used to have youth clubs or something like that where young kids could go, and you're attracting quite a...
Yeah, we're very fortunate in the area, actually, because Lacala, the local community youth centre there, is after opening up a few years ago, and there's a lot of work put into it, and we have a lot of players that go down there, and vice versa. We get a lot of kids back in from the community, but we are a very lucky area compared to some places around the area for that end of it.
Good to see.
We're very active in the club for children. We really are. There's a lot of quizzes and discos, as you say, and we're very active in the schools as well. So.
And I'm sure you're trying to get them onto the playing pitches as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Yeah, it's okay bringing them in, but it's getting them onto the pitches now. It's the hard part nowadays. Yeah.
Aidan, you've taken over as chairman of the club as well, and a great history with Craobh Chiaráin over the years. The people who have been involved at the club, but you're also the senior hurling manager for this year as well. So it's always it seems to be dual roles.
Yeah. Well, as Mark was saying there, we're very enclosed really, and a lot of people take on different roles in the club, and that's what you have to do, you know. So we're lucky enough that we have more than enough people to sort of take on these different jobs and look after different roles. So I'll be happy to do it for as long as I can. I suppose that's you give back what you got out of the game as well along the way, you know.
You mentioned the school there earlier on, School Chiaráin, the famous school there right on Collins Avenue at the church in Donecarney, if people, our listeners, don't know exactly where it is. But how important are the schools to the club?
Oh, they're huge. They're huge. Over the years, since the foundation of the club, the schools have had a massive effect. When the club was formed in 1962, so we had a huge influx of kids coming into the club, and Craobh Chiaráin was there before that. And very, very quickly, when the two clubs amalgamated, they were a perfect fit. And the club grew very, very quickly and moved on. From 1962, they started off a junior, and by 1968, they progressed to senior football and senior hurling 69. So, and then in 71, they contested two senior hurling. The senior hurling championship final and also the senior football championship final, and without all those kids from a very early age, there's no way that would have been able to keep up that progress. And then through the 70s, through the 80s, there was always a huge influx of kids. In 1983, Chiaráin's won every league from under 10 to under 21 A League, which was a record for the club. I'm probably not sure if any other club has ever done it before. Won every A League. And also the school Chiaráin, they won 10 Herald Cups in a row, which is a record that still stands today. So there's a huge connection there over the years between school Chiaráin and the club. So it's a very happy association that we have.
Plenty of honours there, really. You know, I remember them, obviously remembering myself, because it was probably shoved down my throat, me that played with Vincent's down the road or whatever, your good neighbours and that. But it was good times, really, in many ways. And as you said, you had that feeder system coming from young kids all the way through up to senior.
Yeah.
Just on that, Mick, I'd like to show our appreciation to the past headmaster, Martin Troy. He left last week there at the school, and he's been, staunch within the community, getting the hurling pushed into the club. He was originally from Tipperary and played with Tipperary himself, and he's retired since last Wednesday, so we'd like to wish him the best of luck.
Absolutely, yeah. It's great to see, as you say, teachers getting involved with the kids and they sending them on into the clubs as well, because in some clubs at the moment, teachers have been saying to me in Coming to One School that they might have 30 kids playing in Coming to One School, but there might be only 7 or 8 playing for a club, and the rest are maybe playing soccer mainly or other sports kind of thing. And how much of a challenge is that for you?
Well, it was quite easy with Martin, because Martin was a teacher there for 30 odd years in the school, so he probably had Brother Murray and a lot of the Christian brothers that actually pushed him through with the club. But the new teachers coming through, it's very, very hard to get them into the club themselves, because most of them are young and from the country, and they're involved in clubs themselves, so it's very hard to split your loyalties there, so yeah, it's a challenge, but we've got a lot of good teachers locally, really have.
And I suppose in many ways, Aidan, I know you mentioned there, contesting 2 finals, 70, you won the hurling in 1971 for the first time, and contesting the football. A lot of people, I suppose, over the years probably saw Craobh Chiaráin as a hurling club, and in fact it's very much a dual club. And what's more, as you said, people even on the committee level doing double jobbing.
Yes,
it's dual players all the way in many ways.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's they're actually favourites to win the football, and they won the hurling. So I think that's why people identify them more with the hurling. I think so since that win. But I suppose it says going back to feed our school into school Chiaráin and win the hurling championship. That sort of set the tone for Chiaráin's then over the decades. Then any team that came after that was either going through the school or any team in the club, they always wanted to try and reach those standards again, So that was they were very important wins that Chiaráin's had in 71.
And yet, when you think of it, it was 1998. The next time you won the senior hurling championship,
27 years.
It kind of incredible, really, in many ways. And I suppose, I know with Vincent's, they're going through that. They haven't won a hurling championship, I think, since '94. And then, of course, they had it in football as well. I suppose that happens with clubs, but
it does,
as well. Was that a monkey on the back for the club in many ways?
Oh, definitely, absolutely, yeah. I started playing senior hurling myself in 1990, and it was always a challenge. We always went out to win the championship every single year, and I think for the 7 or 8 years up to 98, we were either in a semi-final or a final. We played in 91, 92 finals, but we just couldn't get across the line, So it definitely was a monkey on the back, and eventually we did get rid of it eventually.
And of course you had a few since then, I think 2000, 2003, 2006
yeah,
as well.
2001, 2003, 2006, yeah. So we had a good run of success there over those years. So
Until Ballybowden came and
that's
blew
right.
Dublin away.
Yeah. So it's back to the drawing board now, So
in many ways, all right. On the footballing side, I know that you certainly progressed up to Division 1.
In senior, as we're talking there, Dave was and Stephen Freeman were managing the football at the same time that we tried to won the championship in '98, and we progressed from intermediate football to senior 2, and then up to senior 1. And I think we stayed there for 3 years altogether, and then we come down then. So we're playing junior A football now at the moment in the club. So hopefully we'll get it back up at some stage. A lot of work to do.
It has to be difficult though to with the pool of players going to
That's a huge stretch.
like Jude,
absolutely huge stretch,
there's so much commitment on people's time nowadays.
Yeah. People are stressed. If they're working, if they're not working, they're trying to get a job. If they are working, they're trying to hold on to their job, and then trying to play 2 codes as well, and touring out every week and training 2 or 3 times a week. It's a huge pressure on people, So they can only do so much.
And of course for the club as well, plenty of roll of honours. Lots of lads playing with Dublin.
Down through the years we have
Derek Finn getting an all-star replacement.
That's right. 89,
as well. I suppose that's special for the club, and of course then Alan as well in 2009 getting the all-star as well.
That's brilliant. We've all, even going back down to the years, Eamon Flynn at the start, and Eamon Ryan is playing for the Dubs, and then back in the 90s then Derek Morty, Hedgehow playing for them, and Sean Chaney was a selector as well, Dublin senior hurling team, and obviously now he's vice chairman of the county board, so he's still heavily involved. And
some young ones coming up too as well, with Darren Kelly and Robbie Matton under 21s last year.
I suppose that helps to attract people to the club as well. Really,
it does, absolutely,
self-promotion, really, isn't it?
And then we have Ellen Keatley as well, then playing camogie and playing
ladies
football as well. So
she captained both teams last year, in camogie and ladies football.
Ladies football as well,
at minor level, which is huge, absolutely.
But this year so far must have been hectic for both of you.
It has been very hectic, for sure. You have to keep going. It's going to be a busy year ahead now. So
what's in store?
First of all, we have our dinner dance that's going to be on the 16th of March, next Friday night. It's going to be a black tie affair, and this is where we really launched the 50th anniversary. We have a lot of our old members and present members there. We could be up to 200 people there sitting down for a 4-course meal. We have our dignitaries from the county board and the local schools and credit unions and all our sponsors there on the night. So it's going to be a very special occasion. And from then on, we have Good Friday, which we only got a few weeks later on. We have a massive hurling tournament at juvenile level, everywhere from 4 years of age right up to under 16s. And be up to 400 kids playing hurling there in Clonshock, and our pitches up there in the entry too. All invites from local clubs, of course, challenge away. And the cups are being played are all memorial cups from either players or ex-mentors that were in the club that were involved in the juvenile section. So that's a really good day, and it's a great day for the club. And also then we have a family weekend that we have during the summer, which is like a sports day, and we have disco for the kids. There's jousting, clowns, dunking machines. We have stalls, farmers markets. It's an absolute brilliant day, and we use the local school for the backfield for that at the moment. And at present, we're trying to develop the backfield at the moment between ourselves and the school. We're trying to get a hurling wall there and ball catchers and an all-weather facility. But poor strings are hard at the moment, so we're kind of chasing that at the moment, really. So, we've a pretty busy year ahead of us.
Pretty busy, yeah. The development, obviously, beside the clubhouse is important, that you have something there. And I know kind of over the last number of years, especially attaining the lands up in Clonshock as well and getting your pitches up there too, that was something that was I suppose the club had wanted for many, many years. Yeah,
it was a huge amount of work, getting it all done, and fair play to all the people who were involved in acquiring the land first of all, and then developing the land and getting it all done and dusted. It was a huge amount of work. So Clonshock is more or less working away there now on its own. So I suppose the next thing there now is the hurling wall to try and get it, get the final sign off and get it moving and get it built now, hopefully during the summer. So we'll be looking forward to getting that done now, you know.
We've been in a settled area, and as you say, so enclosed and tight. I'm sure, okay, Parnell Park is beside you, but I'm sure you'd love to be playing. That was your home pitch in many ways. Clonshock is just that little bit further away from
it is,
the clubhouse, you know.
It is, yeah. It's a bit further away, all right. We were originally we had our place in St Anne's there, but when the land became available, I think it was a great idea. They had the plans for the N32 there, and there was going to be an awful lot of housing around the area as well, but unfortunately, I don't know, some of that's fallen through since.
So 400 houses planned to be built
there
at one stage.
Built around it, so so.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll be positive again. It might happen.
That's the issue.
Might happen in the future, but it's a great amenity for the club, and it's great. And of course, it's been used quite a lot as well. By I know the Camogie have run a lot of their championships.
Yes.
Dublin Camogie were run their championships up in Clonshock as well. Over the day
it's a brilliant surface. It's a fantastic surface, and the wettest day out there now, more than likely Clonshock will be playable. You know. It's very, very rarely unplayable, you know. So
a lot of Dublin development squads use up there as well. Like, you know, it's very accessible for everybody to come from the country and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, coming across the M50 across as well, you know.
Yeah.
You mentioned Mark there, of course, next Friday week, when you're going to have your gala night.
Yes,
in the clubhouse as well, and that 200 people there. I'm sure you're hoping many, as you said, past members. What about overseas members? Is anyone coming back or anything like that? Anyone has emigrated or of note? Or
I think they're all queuing up at the airports at the moment, still getting
to go the other way.
It's probably one thing that we were worried about this year was that past members, as you said, don't know about it, you know, and are living locally. You know what I mean? Which would be a terrible shame that they did miss out on that opportunity. But we are getting in contact with an awful lot of them, and
we've notified most people with letter and advisement was on, having the club notes and the local news and all that. So
it's new territory for me now. I find it great now. I spent 3 hours with an ex-former member of the club, like, you know, back in the 60s and 50s, you know, Richie Burke. You know, it's 3 hours talking about the past of it. It's absolutely brilliant. I look forward to meeting an awful lot more people like that on the
sure I'd say it's going to be a good night.
It'll be a good night, a quiet night now, I'd say. You know?
As always, as always, you know.
But we'll have the dinner, say the Black Tie Affair, and we'll have all the rewards done in the night then as well. And then once we have all the business out of the way, we'll get on to celebrating.
Good music.
Start the 50-year off in style, hopefully, you know.
Absolutely, and there's plenty to celebrate in the 50 years. You know, as chairman of the club, are you kind of looking back on your history?
Absolutely,
happy with the amount of, you know, the way the club brought all these young people on, won the trophies, you know, and in many ways, you know, because you are in many ways in the settled area too as well, that it's hard getting new people in and that too.
Looking back, and we were just talking to Mark the other night, it's amazing looking back into the different stories that people have about when they joined the club first and how they progressed and so forth. You know, I played soccer myself. I played till I was 14, didn't play hurling, and I went down to play with Ciaráin at 14, and I didn't know what the hook or block was, and but you're just thrown into the deep end, and just you knew by the way learn quickly, but
there's a few lads you played against knew that you learned it fairly quickly too.
But you know, it was a great homely feeling down there. You know, they wanted you to progress and wanted you to do well at the hurling and the football equally. So there'll be a lot of memories now built up over the last 50 years. So we're looking forward to meeting everyone and say hearing their side of things. And we also have a brochure that's going to be published as well with different people giving their memories. And we're also planning having a couple of nights during the year where we do a sort of a Craobh Files, where we interview maybe 2 or 3 people in the one night about what their view is over the last 50 years and get their own personal view. And we're going to record that, so we'll be able to make a DVD at the end of the year. So we'll be able to give it out to our members as sort of an archive. And that,
we might be able to take 1 or 2 of those recordings and play them here in the programme.
It's
interesting to hear from.
Great,
always good to hear the archive and what the way people have seen the club, because there would be many members there who were there from.
There absolutely is. There are members.
We've handpicked a few already. That would be absolutely brilliant, I would imagine.
We've about 12 people now at the start that we plan to interview during the year.
And which is great to see, you know, that they stuck through thick and thin and been there, you know. And I suppose in many ways it's a big celebration for them next Friday night as well.
Huge celebration for them, huge celebration.
There could be tears yet.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. So it'd be great now to launch everything. We're also probably going to launch our website on the 17th, more than likely, the 16th at Dinner Dance. There's a lot of work gone over the last couple of months with Mark, and we have a communications committee. Robbie Mann off Dublin 21s and a few of the other lads in the club. So we'll be putting that out there as well. CraobhChiaráin.com will be up and running for the next week or two.
I'm looking forward to it. The many times they're looking for stuff for Craobh Chiaráin, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
I suppose it is. It's something that you have to have in this day and age anyway, as well, kind of thing, you know. And it's an opportunity to keep people, as you say, these past members well in contact with the club, and perhaps things that are taking place. Because I know you run a lot of functions, and for the club nowadays, Mark, as well, finance is a huge thing. It's just trying to bring in the revenues to keep the club going.
And without a website, you know, it's really impossible to advertise it, anything like that. Like, you know, this day and age, you know, IT and everything else, people just use the website all the time. You know, they're on the computer. So hopefully, the lads have done a super job on it, and it looks really well. So we're looking forward to feedback on that on the website now.
Well, lads, thanks very much for coming into the studio tonight. It's great to see Craobh Chiaráin, you know, 50 years, and the best of luck on the 16th.
16th,
March.
yeah.
Friday the 16th of March. It'll be a great night indeed.
I'm sure it'll probably run to the
before I go, Mick, sorry, we've been talking about hurling all the way through. I'm just going to have a quick plug for our ladies' football section and our camogie section. We've been talking about the boys' school and the whole lot, but they're doing staunch work now in the club, and they're always looking out for players as well. So if anybody's there,
that's it.
Call down to Donecarney.
Contact Craobh Chiaráin Club down and look for Mark or Aidan.
Absolutely.
Craobh Chiaráin. If anyone out there wants to play ladies' football, camogie, hurling or football, there's enough hurlers and enough footballers, you know. And that's it, lads.
Mick, thanks very
much. Congratulations indeed, and we look forward to hearing more about Craobh Chiaráin in the coming year as well. And
thanks,
we're going to take a short break now. We'll be back in a few moments when we'll be looking ahead to the Dublin Hurlers as they take on Cork in the Alliance National Hurling League in Croke Park next Sunday.